Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner, Casey's waiting till Chris came in and looked around the diner and saw his daughter sitting at the far end and head to the booth of where his daughter is and her wife. You have no idea of how much I miss you and your mom. And as Casey saw her dad, I can, especially since Tina had something to do with it. What do you mean by that? And as Chris went and sat at the booth with his daughter, Tina is responsible for everything, and there's more. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the waiting room, Sean's sitting on one of the couches thinking. Just as Thomas came in and saw Sean and went to where he is. And as Sean sent someone Thomas just as he arrived. What's wrong? Just when I think I know my parents, I don't. Frank and Mimi wouldn't hire someone to kill your sister. I'm really having a hard time not seeing that. Something else is on your mind. Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, at the Applegate apartment and Mandy and Adrian's apartment in the living room, Adrian's lying on the couch watching TV in his robe. Just as Mandy came to the living room all dressed up and noticed her boyfriend isn't. Oi, aren't you getting ready for the sentence? No need. Besides, it's about time my mom and Frank pay. You surely don't mean that. I do. Those two live to cause destruction with everything they touch. I just wanted you to say goodbye to them before they get sent down. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles courthouse in the hallway, Mimi and Harold are talking. I cannot believe any of them would say those awful things. Not to worry, since we're gonna win this thing in the end. That we will. Do me a solid. Can you get me husband? Will you? And as Harold turned and walked away, just as Grace came to where Mimi is, who saw her. Oh, here we go. You spiteful bitch! And as Grace slapped Mimi, and as Mimi looked and noticed one of the guards is looking. Hello? Didn't you see what she did to me? She basically assaulted me. Actually, we didn't see anything but the matter. And as the guards turned and walked away. Guess you have nobody in your corner. That's just too bad. You know, I don't know if you're smart or foolish, and as Grace tried again, but Mimi blocked. Yeah, not gonna happen anymore. If you ever go near my family again, I will end you myself. Meanwhile, inside one of the trial rooms, everyone is talking. Let's get to Karen and Bradley. Victory has never felt so good. Who would have thought that Frank and Mimi's reign is finally gonna be over? I know, and it's only gonna get better from this point on. I couldn't agree more, and as Rita and Adam came to where Karen and Bradley is. Who saw them? I'm surprised to see you two back so soon. That's cause we have some news to share. What is it? Brace yourselves, because what we have will blow your minds away. Meanwhile, in the conference room, Annie's thinking while rubbing her pregnancy stomach. Don't worry, boys. Erin is gonna take care of us. As long as my plan sticks out, I assure you, nothing is gonna stop me in my tracks. And as Tina came in and closed the door, and Annie saw, just as Tina came to where Annie is. We need to have a little chat. No, we don't. Now, if you excuse me, I would like to be alone here. Very well then. I'll just go have a little chat with your husband instead. And as Tina turned and head out. Wait! And as Tina stopped and turned and faced Annie. What's this about? Just stop with the pleasantries because it's not gonna help you out of this one. What do you mean? Did you honestly think you could get away with what you did? Meanwhile, Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner, Casey and Chris are talking. What more could there be? Dad, I get how much you love her. She's the love of your life, but you have to see what monster she really is. She kidnapped me, my mom, and all the people I care about. Look, I'm not happy for what Tina put you or my wife, but you're the prize. Mom, me, Kristen, Jennifer, Tyler, Jeff, and Scott are all in the way. More like collateral damage to her. You know you all come first in my life, and I stick to that to the very end. Not if she has anything to say about it. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the waiting room, Sean and Thomas are talking. And as Thomas went and sat across from Sean, what is it, mate? I've been wondering since I signed the divorce paper, and do you regret leaving Emily? The way the situation was, I didn't have much to say since Kyle basically helped himself to my wife, Emily. That must have been real hard trying to... Yeah, I know. Seeing my wife marrying another dude, that could be very challenging. By the way, you had the same dilemma I did. Yeah, Andrew to the rescue, and Helen making my marriage have no chance by having me sent down. You and Mildred are still connected by twins. Only thing is, the state has custody, no thanks to Helen. Meanwhile, at the Applegate apartment and Mandy and Adrian's apartment in the living room, Mandy and Adrian are talking. I already said what I need to say to them when I testified 2 weeks ago, and I want to just focus on the future. I hope I'm in that picture. Well, of course you are. And as Mandy went and sat next to her boyfriend, and as he put his arms around her, what troubles me now is all these strange attacks that's been occurring lately. Speaking of which, I have to see if Lucy's okay. Later, I'll go with you. And as Mandy and Adrian got up, just as someone knocked on the door. I'll get it. And as Adrian head to the door and arrived and got it. And it's Vanessa. Vanessa, what brings you here? I'm here to say thank you to the both of you. And as Mandy came to the doorway where Adrian is and saw Vanessa. Meanwhile, at the Grand Pub, Rachel's sitting at a table reading a book. Just as Seth came to the table where Rachel is. Rachel, and as she looked up and saw Seth. Oh, hey Seth. Is everything okay? Yeah, I just have a lot on my mind right now. Anything to talk about? And as Seth sat down across from Rachel. Actually, there is. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles courthouse in the hallway, Mimi and Grace are talking. Look at you, being almighty and superior when you're not. I am warning you, you don't want to push to save the drama for someone who gives a damn. It's only a matter of time before your plan gets wiped off the face of the map. Exactly, and as Frank came to where Grace and Mimi is, and they both saw him. I cannot wait to see the both of you get the punishment you deserve. I doubt that very much. By the way, your last minute ditch efforts to get us wiped out won't work at all. Oh, Grace, if you knew what we really have in store for you, you'll run right now. How the hell did you two get released anyways? Guess your officers aren't smart as you think. Shut up, Mimi. And as Claire and Greg came to where they are, and Grace, Mimi, and Frank saw, guard! And as the guards came to where they are, take them to a holding cell where someone can actually watch them. This is far from over, and as the guards led Mimi and Frank away. And as Grace faced her parents. You okay, honey? Yeah, I'm fine. Don't let them get you. Trust me, Dad, where they're going, I'm not too all worried. Meanwhile, in the courtroom, Karen, Bradley, Rita, and Adam are talking. Please tell me you're messing. I wish we were. It seems Tina orchestrated my brother and Wilma to break up by having their twins killed in their house last year. It all makes sense to the sudden breakup. So basically, what you two lot are telling me is convincing me that my sister hired a killer. I wouldn't put it past her. Tina has once again tried to destroy my family, and she's out in the streets like nothing's happened. She needs to be sent down, not for long. Tina's gonna answer for what she did. You damn right, because she's gonna answer to me right now. And it's turn, and head out of the room. Meanwhile, in the conference room, Tina and Annie are talking. I have no idea of what you're talking about. Really, Annie? Is that how we're gonna play this little game? You don't know nothing. Are you certain? It seems she could go in labor any day based by the way I'm looking at you. What does that have to— Oh, cut the crap, Annie! I know what you're hiding. Do you now? By all means, tell me. What am I hiding, Tina? Because it seems that I know Erin's not the father of your twins. And it seems to me we both know that you've known for months. So the question of the matter is, how do I reveal this to Erin, who his wife really is? Meanwhile, on the other side of the door, Scott's overhearing the conversation. Oi, is there a reason to why you by that door? And as Scott turned and saw Erin there. Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner, Casey and Chris are talking. What do you mean by that? Tina's not gonna stop till she wipes all of us out. I am not gonna let that happen. I love your mom and all of you too much. Look, I know you care about your son Daniel, aka my brother, and let's be clear. I've already told her not to use him as a weapon to get me closer to her. Being Catholic have made me realize how precious life is. And I want you and Mom to be happy. And we will, I assure you. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the waiting room, Sean and Thomas are talking. It's really strange that she's working for my parents and all. Either way, I'm moving on with my life just like you are. Cassie and I are doing really well in New Orleans, and once this crazy trial wraps up, I'm leaving town and heading back there. Really? I think you should leave now. And as Harold came through the arm, and Thomas and Sean saw and got up and faced me. And who are you, Tim and Sean? Not here. This isn't the place. I have a message for you. Tell Helen to stay the hell away from me. I'm not your messenger at all. What the hell do you want? Meanwhile, at the Applegate apartment and Mandy and Adrian's apartment in the living room, Vanessa, Mandy, and Adrian are talking. So you and Matt are really over? I just can't get past what he did to me this year. You gotta understand to where he's coming from. I mean, you basically turned him down last Christmas when he's— Yeah, I get it. I just don't want to talk about my divorce. Okay. Your parents are getting sent down today, as we all know it. Is that where you two were going when I came in? Yeah, we are. You wanna come along with us? Meanwhile, at the Grand Pub, Rachel and Seth are talking. Between the trial of the century and the strange attacks that's been occurring, this is really starting to take its toll on me. How coincidental you think these attacks are? They're very. In fact, it started when Casey testified, and I still can't wrap my head to the end of what Frank and Mimi tried to accomplish. I think we both know what that is. And then there's the Egyptian shadow killer going about trying to kill all those who went to Egypt back in 2006. You were in the shadow room when all this went down. Yeah, and since my husband went to Egypt, hey, I assure you, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna look after you. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles courthouse in the hallway, Grace, Claire, and Greg are talking. You have been through a major ordeal. Yeah, when you're being with a serial rapist who pulled you off the roof and is your willpower was the reason why you got saved, and yeah, only thing is, he survived as well. Difference is, he isn't gonna hurt you or anyone else for the matter. Now, let's go to the trial room. And as Grace, Claire, and Greg begin walking down the hall. Meanwhile, in the trial room, Karen, Bradley, Rita, and Adam are talking amongst the others, while Karen is walking out the trial room with her husband Bradley following her. Karen, wait. And as Karen stopped at the entrance and turned and faced her husband just as he came to where she is. Look, if you're gonna try to talk me down, then we all are on edge here to what she could have killed our son along with our grandkids. And as Rita and Adam came to where they are. There was a time when I looked the other way, but enough is enough. Speaking of which, I'm certain you heard about the strange attacks that's been happening on the news lately. Yeah, first Richard, then Hannah, and now Gloria. I think all these attacks are linked to Mimi and Fred. And as Grace, Claire, and Greg came in to where they are, you all think they're responsible for this? And as Karen, Bradley, Rita, and Adam saw them. Meanwhile, outside the conference room, Scott is surprised by Aaron's arrival. I thought I heard someone in there, like a commotion or something, but turns out I was wrong. Anyways, if you excuse me, I have somewhere to be. And as Scott turned and walked away. And as Aaron turned and saw him walking away. What are you up to? And as he turned and faced the door, hearing the commotion that's inside. Meanwhile, in the conference room, Tina and Annie are talking. I don't know what information you think you have. I don't think when I know for sure. So stop the games you're playing at. Why are you even here when you should be at the job? You know, the one my husband so gracefully went through the lens. You can try to twist this any style you feel, but the truth of the matter is, you've been stringing Aaron along as your backup plan due to the real get out. You are the last person in this universe to be throwing stones, so if you don't want your little dirty secret from Egypt to come out, I suggest you do one, now! Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner, Casey and Chris are talking. So, how's things going? Which, well, I haven't gotten home yet, seeing that. Yeah. Thing is, I already had a run-in with my sister Kristen, and she sort of filled me in. Should I be worried? No, Dad. Although it might be awkward when I do show up at the flat, he should have waited at least. It's fine. I wanted him to move on. That's how much he loved me, and know that I would have told him the same thing. Is that really betrayal? Richard's been the best thing that's ever happened since my marriage with Matt ended. If you need anything, I know where to find you. Well, I better go and get this over with. And as Casey reached and got her purse and her dad saw, don't worry about it, I got it. Thanks, Dad. And as Casey got up and got her stuff. Maybe we all can get together for that much needed family luncheon. One day at a time. Chew. And as Casey turned and walked away. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the waiting room, Harold, Sean, and Thomas are talking. Your parents requested that you attend their sentence. Why should I? We already know their fate. That remains to be seen. Dude, wake up. It is over for them. Clearly, you don't know how things... Oh, you mean the strange attacks have been happening, including my sister who was left for dead after the hit and run? She barely had a scratch in her. How did you know that? Unless now I know you're missing. You better hope he's not right, because if I find out that you put my sister in danger, I will erase you from this world permanently. Meanwhile, at the Applegate apartment and Mandy and Adrian's apartment in the living room, Vanessa, Mandy, and Adrian are talking. Considering my parents' trial, which lasts for months from the opening statement to so many people testifying to the closing statement, I really don't know if it's truly the end. Yeah, it has exhausted most of us. Be glad you didn't have to testify. I almost forgot. You and I have the same mom, apart from Bradley being your dad. Yeah, and I'm the result of the complicit love affair, which almost broke the most powerful cause. Yeah, let's do this. And as Vanessa, Mandy, and Adrian head out the flat, with Adrian close to the door. Meanwhile, at the Grand Pub, Rachel and Seth are talking. Thank you. By the way, are you going to... Nah, I know that Frank and Mimi won't be a threat after today. Anyways, I think I better go. Maria's a lucky girl to have you in her life. I know. If you need anything from us, call me. I will. And as Seth got up and turned and walked away. I really wish Scott was here. Did someone say my name? And as Scott came to a Rachel's table, and she's surprised by his arrival. Meanwhile, Seth walked out the pub, just as Sean came into the door and saw Rachel and Scott talking. Meanwhile, outside the Los Angeles courthouse, Vanessa, Manny, and Adrian came up the stairs to the entrance. I cannot hardly believe that this is really happening. Yeah, it is. It's only the beginning. I'm not too at all surprised, given how this has been filmed. What do you mean? And as he turned and saw news and spectators with the cameras prepping to go in. The world wants to see my parents get sent down, and I'm afraid their wish will be granted. Well, we better get in and get our seats while it's hot. You two lot go in. I'll catch up with you later. Are you? Yeah, I'm fine. There's something I need to take care of. Alright. And as Mandy and Adrian head in, while Vanessa took out her cell phone and began making a phone call. Meanwhile, inside in the trial area, Karen, Bradley, Rita, and Adam are surprised by Grace, Clara, and Greg's arrival. Is this true? Why not? None of us knew that for certain. But if they are planning a last-minute attack, which has been happening, they're not going to succeed in the end. Clearly, they must know that their reign is going to be over. After which, we can focus on finding Linda and Wayne wherever they are. Meanwhile, in the holding cell, Mimi's on the bottom bunk, lying in bed thinking, while Frank is on the top bunk reading the book. Meanwhile, in the conference room, Tina and Annie are talking. Girl, the last thing you want to do right now is threaten me because I will bury you alive. I like to see you try. You really think you're on cloud 9? That's because I am. Now, if you excuse me, I have to say goodbye to my parents who will be sent down today. Enjoy your freedom while it lasts. And as Annie head to the door and arrived and got it, and saw Aaron there, who noticed Tina there as well. I hope I didn't come at a bad time.